Even in the 21st century, pirate attacks continue to occur around the world. In particular, pirates off the coast of Somalia and in the Gulf of Aden have become a major issue in recent years. Japan has been engaged in anti-piracy measures as a member of the international community. The self-defense forces have been working together with other nations on missions far away from Japan under extremely harsh environments. The waters off the coast of Somalia and in the Gulf of Aden are a part of a vital sea route for the international maritime transportation, linking Europe and Asia via the Suez Canal. However, it is in this area that we have seen a surge in acts of piracy, including many cases of hijacking in recent years. There are about 400 incidents of piracy worldwide every year. Most of these took place in Southeast Asia, but in recent years there has been a drastic increase of incidents in the waters off the coast of Somalia and in the Gulf of Aden. In 2009, the incidents in these areas accounted for more than half of all incidents worldwide. While many countries are working on this issue, Japan has also proceeded with countermeasures. The highlight of these is the Law on Punishment of and Measures Against Acts of Piracy, or the so-called Anti-Piracy Measures Law. The law has four major pillars: the definition of acts of piracy, crimes related to acts of piracy, responses by the Japan Coast Guard to acts of piracy, and response by the self-defense forces to acts of piracy. As such, necessary provisions have been set forth. With this law, it has become possible to protect not only ships related to Japan, but also ships of all countries against acts of piracy and to punish them by Japanese law. It also allows effective responses to prevent piracy, including the use of arms to halt vessels that are carrying out acts of piracy against commercial ships. While a bill for this law was submitted, an order for maritime security operations was issued on March 13, 2009, in order to take a temporary measure until the new law would be enacted, because there was an immediate need to protect the lives and properties of Japanese citizens that were in danger. On March 14, two destroyers departed from the port of Kure in Hiroshima Prefecture for the scene. The first escorting operation on the scene began on March 30th. The Anti-Piracy Measures Law was established on June 19th. From July 24th, the SDF commenced anti-piracy operations under the new law. At the scene in the Gulf of Aden, the two destroyers travel in front of and behind the convoy of ships that they are escorting, keeping this formation while moving between these two positions in the east and west of the Gulf of Aden.
平均して8隻弱の船を護衛しております。で、今まで一番多かったのは護衛対象の船舶としては12隻がこれが一番多い。護衛対象船舶には海賊の指一本触れさせない。こういう強い信念を持ってやっていきたい。ここは全くぶれておりません。
We are also engaged in air surveillance. Fixed-wing patrol aircraft, or P-3C, over the Gulf of Aden carry out surveillance, information gathering, and providing the necessary information to destroyers and commercial ships.
各国の協力関係につきましては、情報、これは海賊等の情報を得た場合については、最寄りの他国の艦艇がいれば、そこに情報を通報するということはございます。一部他国の軍人と会話をすることがありますけど、やはりP3C の持っている広域捜索能力というものをこれを期待しているということのコメントは伺っています。
P-3C aircraft are stationed at Djibouti International Airport. The Ground Self-Defense Force has been guarding the SDF aircraft and others. In addition, the Air Self-Defense Force uses C-130H and other aircraft to transport supplies and other materials.
交代で後方の方に見えますけれども、防浪の監視である巡察を実施して P3C その他装備品の警護を実施しています。やはり外国に来て実施をしているということで、我々だけがここにいるわけではないということを考えますと、やはり語学等ですね、そういうところで非常に私も含めまして苦労しているわけです。
United efforts by the three self-defense forces have been made for the anti-piracy measures. They have made a number of achievements, and their activities have also been highly praised by other countries. As of December 31, 2009, 92 escorting operations have been completed, starting from the first one on March 30th of the same year. We are seeing steady achievements in our escorting operations, with the number of escorted vessels totaling 501 and the number of air surveillance operations by P3Cs totaling 126. On March 12, 2009, the International Maritime Organization, or IMO, informed member states, including Japan, that it had received notice from North Korea regarding its test launch of a communications satellite and of the designation of danger zones. The government of Japan strongly urged Pyongyang to cancel the launch. North Korea's launch, even if it was a satellite, would constitute a clear violation of United Nations Security Council resolutions that call on the country to halt any ballistic missile programs. It would also be a blow to ongoing efforts toward relaxation of tensions in the Korean Peninsula, and as such, would be detrimental to the peace and stability of this region. On the other hand, in response to North Korea's launch, if anything should happen, it was necessary for the government of Japan to take all possible measures to ensure the safety and security of people's lives. Thus, on March 27th, the government confirmed a policy to respond to the North Korea missile launch at the Security Council of Japan. The Minister of Defense issued an order for measures to destroy ballistic missiles and other objects pursuant to Article 82-2, Paragraph 3 of the Self-Defense Forces Law. In order to prepare for missiles falling on Japan, 2 MSDF Aegis destroyers equipped with SM-3 missiles were deployed to the Central Sea of Japan. ASDF Patriot PAC-3 fire units were also deployed at SDF bases in the Tohoku region and the Tokyo metropolitan area. On April 5th, North Korea launched a missile at 11:30 a.m. The Ministry of Defense instantaneously transmitted the information obtained by Shared Early Warning, or SEW, from the U.S. and by various radars of the SDF to the Prime Minister's office, local municipalities, and others. It was presumed that the missile passed over the Tohoku region and headed toward the Pacific at around 11:37 a.m. On April 6, the Minister of Defense issued an order for the termination of the destruction measure against ballistic missiles and other objects and for the withdrawal of SDF units. The launch renewed the sense that the ballistic missiles threat was real. To respond to the ballistic missiles threat, Japan has been developing the Ballistic Missile Defense, or BMD system, coordinating upper-tier interception by Aegis destroyers with lower-tier interception by Patriot PAC-3. In 2009, the ASDF deployed Patriot PAC-3 at its bases in the Keihanshin-Chukyo region and the northern Kyushu region. Furthermore, flight tests were conducted successfully in the U.S. for Patriot PAC-3 and SM-3 missiles launched from the Aegis destroyer Myoko in September and October, respectively. The Ministry of Defense and the SDF will continue to steadily develop the BMD system to respond to the ballistic missiles threat.